welcome back. I'm doing a book review today for Only Forward by Michael Marshall Smith. I found this in a second-hand bookstore recently. Thought I'd give it a go. I could see that it was his debut novel, which caused alarm bells to ring for me, to be honest. I don't really like debut novels, but I thought I'd give it a go, and I did. This was published in 1994, and it's basically about a character called Stark who lives in this huge futuristic city with all of these weird districts that are completely different from each other. And he receives this strange job that eventually takes him to an even weirder place called Dreamland, which is a place where, well, if you go there, you kind of live in your own dreams. It's a bit fantasy-like, really, but that's the basic plot, and it's quite an action-packed plot as well. Lots of chases, lots of fights, lots of action. Now, I don't know whether you remember, I did a review of Spares by Michael Marshall Smith about a year ago, maybe 2 years now. I really enjoyed Spares, and I could see some similarities between the two books. This city kind of reminded me of the big ship in Spares. It's similar in that way, and also both books kind of touch upon the subconscious mind. I can tell Michael Marshall Smith is interested in the subconscious mind, and that's good. I like that. I'm really interested in that as well. I'm fascinated by the fact that we've got like a kind of second mind that's working in the background without us knowing it. I love that stuff. But anyway, that's kind of woven through both books. This one, it's well written. There's quite a lot of humour in it, which is good. It's quite detailed. There's some quite good world building going on, which is good. However, I wasn't blown away by it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to say it's good if it isn't. It's got the feel of a young adult novel. Now, if you saw my review of Junk not too long ago, you'll know that I was surprised by that. I enjoyed a young adult novel, but in general, I don't like them. And this one's got a feel. It feels a bit immature in places, and the big city that I mentioned, the big setting for the book. Some of these districts in the city are very childish. Like there's a district in the city where it's just cats. Only cats live there, and no humans. There's another one where people work really hard. There's another one where people are lazy. There's another one that's really run down. Found it a bit childish, and the whole idea of Dreamland is a bit childish. Action scenes don't really interest me that much, so I got a bit bored with the action scenes. It's got a bit of a pedestrian feel to it. I won't say commercial, I'll say pedestrian. And it's also borderline fantasy. I thought I was reading a science fiction book, but it often felt like a fantasy book, and I'm not into fantasy, so that didn't go down too well. Redeeming features, there are some. Like in Spares, there are a few really shocking scenes in the book that I did appreciate, because I like that stuff. There's a scene where they kind of go into this serial killer's flat in one of the run-down districts, and all of these dead bodies are lying around, and some of them have got like their wrists stapled together with like an industrial staple gun. I read that and thought, yeah, fucking hell, that's like a big vivid description of these staples in his hands. There's a scene where a woman is in a castle and she's kind of ripping herself apart, like pulling out her ribs and pulling out her bones and tendons and stuff. That was quite sick. And there's another description of a man who's been murdered in his flat, which is also just as vivid and gruesome. I like that. I like that stuff in a book, so that kind of redeemed it a little bit. I enjoyed reading the scenes that were set in the Red District, which is like the rundown district. That those things actually felt like a cyberpunk novel, and cyberpunk's okay for me, so I kind of got into those scenes. I appreciated the whole subconscious mind thing going through the novel, so I didn't hate this book. There were lots of things I liked about it, but it just didn't quite hit the spot. It didn't hit the spot at all. It was too fantastical, and yeah, it's a bit of a negative review for this one. I think I can't recommend this one unless you're a hardcore Michael Marshall Smith fan and you just for some reason haven't read this one. But I wouldn't go out of your way to go and read this one. If you want to check out Michael Marshall Smith, I've only read 2 of his books, but honestly, Spares is much better than this one. Read Spares instead and give Only Forward a miss. That's my advice, okay? Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, I've got a range of free books online. You can help yourself to them free of charge. I've left the links below for that. And I'll be back in about 2 weeks or so. In the meantime, try to have a great day on this weird, fantastical, mysterious rock we call Earth. Goodbye.